Hello all, a very good day to all of you. In this session, we will discuss all the questions that have come from analog circuits in 2018 grade examination for instrumentation branch. Okay, so in 2018, right, there are 6 questions that have come from analog circuits, right? 2 are of 1 mark and 4 are of 2 marks. So total 10 marks have been asked from this particular subject. Okay, so let us discuss all the question one by one. So the first question is in the given circuit, assume that the op-amp is ideal, right? What is the meaning of ideal op-amp, guys? The gain is equal to infinity, the bandwidth is equal to infinity, input resistance is equal to infinity, and my output resistance is equal to 0, right? This is the ideal op-amp, right? And the transistor, the BJT, right, have a beta of 20. So we know beta is nothing but the collector current divided by my base current. Okay, in this case, this is my collector current IC, and this is my base current. Okay, and it is asking the current I0 flowing through the ZL. Okay, I0 nothing but, guys, emitter current, right? Current flowing through the emitter is nothing but I0, right? So the first and foremost thing is we could see the op-amp is operating in negative feedback, right? Since some part of output is getting feedback to the negative terminal, so the op-amp is operating in negative feedback. And whenever the op-amp is operating in negative feedback, it obeys a principle called virtual ground. Okay, so in virtual ground principle, what happens? The voltage at the positive terminal is equal to the voltage at the negative terminal. Okay, so in this case, it should be equal to 2 volt, right? Because the voltage at positive terminal is 2 volt, so the voltage at negative terminal should be 2 volt, right? So now, since this is 2 volt, so here also I am getting 2 volt, right? So the current flowing through the resistor 10.5 kilo ohm is nothing but my collector current, because since my op-amp is ideal, right, the input impedance is infinity, so there is no current into this branch. So whatever current that is flowing through 10.5 kilo ohm resistor, the same current will flow through my collector. Okay, so my collector current is equal to current flowing through R 10.5K, right, is equal to 5 minus 2 divided by 10.5K is equal to 3 by 10.5K, right? This is my current in the collector. We know the current in the emitter is nothing but current in the base plus current in the collector. Okay, and also you know the base current is nothing but the collector current divided by beta, right? Here IB is equal to IC by beta plus IC. Okay, so this implies beta plus 1 divided by beta into IC is my current IE. IE is nothing but current flowing through my emitter. In this case, it is I0. Okay. So let us put the value of beta 21 by 20 into what is IC? IC is 3 by 10.5 kilo. Okay. So let us take a calculator and solve the question. So it is 21 by 20. Okay, into 3 divided by 10.5K. 5K is 10 power of 3. Okay, so what I am getting is equal to 3 into 10 power minus 4 ampere is equal to, it is asking in microampere, right? So if I multiply 100 and divide by 100, I will get 300 microampere. Okay, so 300 microampere is the answer. So before leaving this question, I want to just explain one thing. See, in this circuit, right, how a negative feedback is operating. Okay, so how it is operating, you see, whenever suppose somehow my current I0 or nothing but IE will increase. Okay, if I will increase, what will happen to my V? V nothing but this one, V nothing but IE into ZL. So V will increase. When V will increase, what will happen to my VB? VB is nothing but VB minus VE, so it should be decreasing, right? And we know if VB is decreasing, what is the collector current? The collector current depend upon VB exponentially, so it should also decrease. Then collector current will decrease. We know IE also will decrease, so IE will decrease. Okay, so the increase in IE is compensated by decrease in IE. So this is nothing but negative feedback. So why I explain you this thing is because in some question, if you cannot figure out whether it is negative feedback or positive feedback, in that case we have to apply this principle to find out whether the circuit is in negative or positive feedback. Okay, so let us go to the next question. So in this question, a diode given in the circuit are ideal. Okay, so diodes are ideal. Then at t is equal to 60 millisecond, right? We have to find out VPQ. VPQ is nothing but Vp minus VQ. Okay, so in order to solve this circuit, we need some prerequisite. What is first is what is the ideal diode? Okay, yes, the ideal diode is having two terminal, right? One is anode, one is cathode. Okay, and the current flowing from anode to cathode is denoted as diode current, and the potential across diode is V diode. Okay, and this ideal diode is operating in two bias. One is forward bias. When I say my ideal diode is in forward bias, when my current through a diode from anode to cathode should be greater than 0. And when the current flowing through the diode is 0, in that case, what will happen? Diode potential Vd, nothing but V anode minus V cathode is equal to 0. That means it will behave like a short circuit. Whenever a current flowing through the diode is greater than 0, it will behave like a short circuit. This is the most important point. Then I say this diode is in reverse bias, when the voltage in the diode is nothing but V anode minus V cathode should be less than 0, then I can say my diode is in reverse bias, and at that condition my current in the diode is 0. That means it will behave like a open circuit. Okay. So there are two modes of operation. Okay, so with this understanding, let us solve the question. Okay, so in the input also one thing is, it is asking t is equal to 60 millisecond. Okay, so here we see 2 pi f is equal to 2 pi into 50. So f is equal to 50, time is equal to 1 by 50. 1 by 50 is nothing but 20 millisecond, right? So it is asking VPQ after 3 cycles of input, because 60 millisecond means 3 cycles, right? So after 3 cycles of my input sinusoid, right, it is asking my VPQ. Okay, so let us solve the question. So first thing is, during the first positive cycle, okay, during the first positive cycle, 0 to, this is first positive cycle, T by 2, okay, this voltage will be 100. Okay, so here it will be 0 and 100 volt, right? Then this is 0 volt, right? This will be reverse, because initially we assume that the capacitor C1 and C2, okay, so C1 and C2 are uncharged t less than 0. That means Vc1 is equal to Vc2 is equal to 0 for t less than 0. This is the condition, right? So that means before application of my input, my capacitors are discharged, so there is no potential across the capacitor. So when I apply 100 volt, right, 100 volt will directly come here, since Vc is 0, right? So 100 volt come here like that, Vp will be 100 volt. Okay, so the diode will be reverse bias, right? Similarly, 100 volt is coming here, right? 100 is here, and 0 volt, since VC is 0 initially, so 0 will come here. Okay, this also will be 100 minus 0, it will be reverse bias, so it will be also cut off. Okay, it will be in reverse bias. Okay, so when both are in reverse bias, what is the circuit now, guys? I have my input, okay, then I have a capacitor, and I don't know the condition of this diode, okay, but the other diode is reverse bias, means it is open circuit. Okay, similarly in the up diode also is reverse bias, so it will be like a open circuit. Okay, now the below diode I don't know. Now there is a capacitor here. Okay, C2, this is C1. Okay, so see, in the positive half cycle, right, diode, this diode, suppose this is D1, D2, D3, D3, D4. Okay, so in positive half cycle, D2 and D3 are off. Okay, off means they are open circuit. So the capacitor C1 and C2 cannot charge, right? Because whenever current will flow, right, then only it will charge. Since the path is broken, right, this current I is 0, right? So the capacitor cannot charge. There is no path for the current to flow through the capacitor. So the VC1 will be 0. Similarly, here also you see, since the current is here also is 0, the current is flowing is 0. So this capacitor cannot charge, right? So during third positive cycle, VC1, VC2 is equal to 0 only, because there is no way the capacitors can charge. There is no path for the current. Okay, let us see what will happen in the negative half cycle. So during this we have discussed, VC1 is VC2 is equal to 0. Then we will start my negative cycle. Okay, 0 to this is T. Okay, this is a V in, so this is 100, this is minus 100. Okay, so you see up to this point, right, up to this point, VC1 is equal to VC2 is equal to 0. So positive half cycle, first positive half cycle, VC1 is equal to VC2 is equal to 0. So this is C1, this is C2, right? Now I apply negative half cycle, right? Then I will go to negative half cycle. What will happen? This is my 0 volt, right? Then this is my 100 volt, because I am applying negative cycle, right? 0, this is 0, this will be 100. Okay, now you see, when I apply 0 volt, right, this is already 0, right? So 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 will come here, right? And 100 will come here, 100 will come here. So this will be forward bias. Clear? Right? And you see, since 0 volt is here and 0 volt is here, so this will be, this is off, right? Similarly, you see, when 0 volt will come here, 0 volt is here, right? And 100 volt is here. So 100 volt will come like this here also, because VC2 is 0 initially. In the starting of negative half cycle, VC2 is 0, because during positive half cycle both capacitors are discharged. So starting of negative half cycle, VC2 will be 0. So this will be 100. So this will be on. Okay. So these two diodes will be on. Okay. This will be on. Right. So now, since this is 100 volt here, right? So this will be off. This will be off. This will be off. These two will be on. Okay. So now we see what will happen. Let's draw the circuit. The 0 volt. This is 100 volt. Right. So this, since it is 100, so this will be off. Cathode is connected to 100, so it will be off. Okay. When it will be off, 100 will go here and it will on. Okay. Similarly, the anode is connected to 0 volt, so it is off. Okay. So I have a capacitor. Okay. Then this is off. Right. 0 volt is connected to anode, 100 volt is connected to cathode. So this and this are off. Okay. Now I have a diode. Since this is on, connecting, so I can short circuit it, right? When it is on, it should be short circuited. Similarly, in the off circuit, right? It should be short because it is forward bias. Then below is open, and this is my capacitor C2, C1. Now you see there is a path like this. Okay, so my VC1 will charge to 100 volt. This is positive, this is negative, this is 100 volt, right? Similarly, for VC2, the path will be like this. It will be going like this, going like this. Okay, so in this, the current will flow in this direction, so that it will charge to plus minus 100 volt, right? So during the first negative cycle, VC1 and VC2 will be charged to 100 volt with polarity positive in the downside here, positive in the downside here. So after first negative cycle, right? VC1 is equal to, if you see, 100 volt, right? But positive will be to the bottom plate. Okay. Similarly, VC2 is equal to 100 volt, positive is the bottom plate. Okay. This is the condition after my first negative cycle. Then we will go to second positive cycle, right? We will see what will happen. So after first negative cycle, I will have plus minus 100, here also plus minus 100, right? Now you see what is VP. Since you see, since after first type cycle, after the first negative type cycle, since I am having a plus minus 100, right? So this will be always off, right? Off, because this is plus, this is minus, so this will be off. Similarly, you see, this will be plus, this is minus. Since I am applying negative to the negative voltage to the anode and plus 100 is to the cathode, this also will be off. Okay. So after first type cycle, undoubtedly, so after first negative half cycle, VC1 is equal to VC2 is equal to 100 volt. Okay, bottom is negative, bottom is positive. See, bottom is positive, top is negative. That will make my D1, D2, D3, D4. Okay, so that will make my D1 reverse bias and D4 also reverse bias. This implies D1 is equal to D4. Okay, is equal to reverse bias. So they are open. So after my first negative cycle, D1, D4 will be open. Okay, let us go to the next cycle. Okay, so now what will happen at this point? Okay, we have completed how much? Complete this we completed, this we completed, this completed. Now we'll go to the second positive cycle. Okay, but at this end, at this point, what is VP? VP is nothing but V in plus 100, right? V in plus 100 volt, right? VC1 is equal to V in plus 100, right? So since VP is 100 minus sin 100 sin omega t, so V in should be varying from minus 100 to plus 100, right? Then I will add 100 volt. What will happen to this? It will go from 0 to 200, right? Since my V in is varying from minus 100 to plus 100, here I am adding 100 volt of the capacitor VC1. So what will happen to my voltages now? To the VP will be minus 100 plus 100 will be 0, minus 100 plus 100 will be 200 volt. So VP will be varying from 0 to 200, right? Similarly, for one VQ will be, you see, VQ will be V in You see, this is VQ. Okay, this is VQ. Okay, so here plus or minus Vn. Okay, plus or minus Vn. So if I go from this to this, right, VQ, this is VQ, right? Then apply VQ plus negative to positive is 100, so it will be 100 volt. Then plus Vn, right? Plus Vn. So this implies 0, 0. This implies VQ is equal to how much? Will be minus of 100 plus Vn, right? Minus of 100 plus Vn is equal to minus of 100 means 100 plus Vn varying from minus 100 to plus 100. So this will be minus of 100 plus minus 100 will be 0 plus 100 plus 100 will be 200. So again there is a minus, so 0, 0 to will be minus 200, right? So at the end of first negative cycle, VQ will be varying from 0 to minus 200, right? That means it will vary from like this, 0 to minus 200. It will be varying from 0 to plus 200, right? 0 to plus 200, right? Okay. So at the end of first negative cycle, VP will be 0 to 200 volt. So then VP will be going from 0 to 200 volt, right? 0 to 200 volt, right? Then you see, when VP will be going from 0 to 200 volt, this dot will be what? Always off, right? And VP will be varying from 0 to 200 volt. Definitely this will be off. I don't know. Definitely this will be off. Clear? So D2 will be off. This implies D2 will be off or reverse bias, right? Since VP is varying from 0 to 200 volt, right? After the first negative cycle, so D2 will be definitely off because the cathode is connected to 200 volt. 0 to 200 is varying from, here it is varying from 0 to 200. This implies it will never go from, so it will be definitely off, right? So D2 will be off. Similarly, Q is varying from 0 to minus, so it is going from negative direction only. Since my anode is connected to 0 to negative, so this implies D4 also off. Clear? Means reverse bias. So after the first negative cycle, what will happen? Since the capacitor C1 and C2 is charged to 100 volt, that makes D1, D4 reverse bias. Okay. Also, since VP is varying from 0 to 200 volt, so diode D2 will be off. Since VQ is varying from 0 to minus 200 volt, the D4 will be off. So in short, what is happening, guys? In short, after the first cycle, means first positive and first negative cycle, all diodes will be off. All diodes will be off. So let me summarize here. After okay, so let me summarize here. So after first cycle, means positive and negative, right? All diode will be off. Okay, and this voltage is VC1 will be 100 volt, right? Bottom is positive. Similarly, VC2 will be 100 volt. Same, bottom is positive. Okay, and VP varying from 0 to 200, we have seen. VQ varying from 0 to minus 200, because VP is Vn plus Vc, VQ is minus Vn plus Vc. Okay, so it varying from like this. So since VP is varying from 0 to 200 volt, this will be also off. This will be off, and since VQ is varying from 0 to minus 200, this will be off. Okay, so after first half cycle, all diodes will be off. Now, what is VP minus VQ? So what is VP? Let us go like this. VP is nothing but VP minus 100. So you put a KVL here. Vp minus 100, Vp is equal to Vp. So how to calculate Vp? OI KVL. So this is Vp minus 100, Vp minus 100 volt is here, minus 100, 100. This is plus or minus V in, right? This is V in, V in, V in, positive, negative. So it will be minus 100 minus V in. This implies Vp is equal to 100 minus 100 plus V in, right? So Vp minus 100 minus V in is equal to 0. This implies Vp is 100 plus V in. Then Vq, I have to know what is Vq. Vq is Vq plus 100, right? I am going for negative to positive. So Vq plus 100. Then again negative to positive means V in plus V in is equal to 0, right? Vq plus 100 plus V in equal to 0. This implies Vq is equal to minus 100 minus 100 minus V in. Okay. Now you have to see how I am doing the. So Vq will be, see how much Vq, since this is V in, this is 0, right? This is V in, this is 0, right? This is grounded, right? When I apply V in, this is 0. So Vq will be how much, guys? Vq plus 100 is 0. So this is I think wrong here. This is wrong. Okay. So this loop is wrong. Okay. You have to show Vq. Vq is here. Vq plus 100, right? This is 100 volt plus Vq plus 100 is equal to 0. This implies Vq is equal to minus 100. Okay. So now what is Vpq? Vpq. Okay. Vpq is equal to 100 plus V in is Vp plus V in minus Vq is nothing but minus 100. So is equal to 200 plus V in. Okay. But now Vpq is 200 plus V in. Now what is the question? Vpq at 60 millisecond, right? 60 millisecond means first cycle, second cycle, then third cycle. Okay. Exactly at this point, right? At this time. Okay. So Vpq is equal to 200 plus V in. But V in at 60 millisecond is nothing but just after 3 cycle is 0. So Vpq is equal to 200 volt at 60 millisecond. Okay, because at 60 millisecond my input is completing exactly 3 cycles, means my input is exactly 0 volt at after 3 cycle, right? So V in should be 0. So Vpq is 200 volt. Okay, so this is the solution. So first thing is we have to understand the diode condition during the positive half cycle and negative half cycle. Then we can easily find out the Vpq. So during positive half cycle, the capacitor cannot charge. So Vc1 is equal to Vc2 is equal to 0. During negative half cycle, Vc1 is equal to Vc2 is equal to 100 volt, which bottom is positive. So what it is making? Then after the first negative cycle, all diodes are off. Since all diodes are off, simply applying a KVL, I got Vpq. Okay, this is the solution. Let's see the next question. In the given relaxation oscillator, right? The op-amp and general are ideal. Okay, ideal, and the frequency of the square wave at the output V0. So whenever you see a unknown circuit, right, first you put what are the things you know. Okay, in this you see the general is ideal, right? Ideal means when I apply a voltage just greater than 5 volt, it will regulate at 5 volt. Okay, what is ideal diode? Ideal general diode. So the when I go on applying the reverse bias, this is Vz, this is Iz. Okay, the current will be 0. Just when my Vz will be crossing 5 volt, it will regulate at 5 volt. This is my ideal diode. Okay, and since it is ideal diode, when I apply forward bias, the drop is 0. It pass any current. Okay, this is the characteristic of my ideal diode. Okay, this you know. What is ideal op-amp? Ideal op-amp you know already. I discussed. Gain is equal to infinity, bandwidth infinity, input resistance is infinity, and output resistance is infinity. Okay. So now what are things you know? Okay. First you put all this in. Whenever you see a unknown circuit, first you try to apply whatever things you know. Then you can easily solve the circuit. So let me tell you the approach for solving the circuit. First thing is, suppose this is op-amp A1, this is op-amp A2. We know this is op-amp. Okay. And what you know? First step we know. First step is this op-amp, we could see the output to positive is there. That means it is a positive feedback. So A2 is in positive feedback. Okay. Whenever a op-amp is a positive feedback, it will behave like a comparator. So this much you know. So first put all information, whatever you know. Okay. Second thing is A1. A1 is, since output to negative there is a feedback, so negative feedback. So it obeys a principle called virtual ground. Virtual ground. Okay. This much things you know. Okay. And whenever a op-amp is in comparator, right? Since it is comparator, the output can be either plus V set or minus V set. Right? Then V positive is greater than V negative, the output is V plus V set. And whenever V positive is less than V negative, the output will be minus V set. Okay. So this much things we know till now. Okay. So by this information, how to solve the circuit? So the first step, okay, assume that after the switch on, I don't know what is V positive, V negative. Suppose assume that my V output is positive. See, since it is a comparator, my V output can be positive or negative. That's all, right? My V output can be plus V set or minus V set, nothing else. So first step is, first assume that V output is equal to plus V set, right? Because it can be only two state. I assume plus V set. Okay. Then V output is plus V set, and you see here, since it's a general diode, okay, this will be forward bias means 0 drop, and this will be reverse bias means 5 volt. So I will get 5 volt here. Second thing is I got 5 volt here. When I got 5 volt here, what is V positive for A2? Second step. Okay, since I got 5 volt here, V positive of A2 is 5 into 50k by 50 plus 50k ratio divider. So I will get V positive of A2. Positive of A2 is equal to 2.5 volt. Clear? Here second step. Now, since it is operating in negative feedback, it operates obviously a principle called virtual ground, right? That means since it is 0, so I will get 0 volt here. Clear? 0 volt here. And since 0 volt is here and 0 volt is here, so the 50k is just a redundant thing. It is of no use. The resistor is connected between two ground, so it is no use, right? So 50k is gone. Okay. So third step. First step is plus V set. Then I got A2 is 2.5 volt. Okay. Third thing is, what is V output 1? Okay. What is V output 1? V output 1 is, this is VC, right? V out 1 is equal to, okay, 0 volt minus VC is equal to minus VC. Okay. This is third thing. What is fourth thing? What is VC? What is VC? VC. So you see, since I am having 5 volt, what is the current here? Suppose this current is I. Okay. So let us calculate VC. VC. So whatever current is flowing, right? The current will completely flow through this because this is a high impedance node, and so all current will flow through this. So what is VC? VC is nothing but current. We know V is equal to, we know current I is equal to, I is current flowing through the capacitor is nothing but C dV by dt. Since here I is a DC current, so I can say dVC dV is equal to, dVC is equal to I into T divided by C, right? And what is I? I is nothing but 5 volt divided by 25k. 5 volt divided by 25k into time into C. C is nothing but 0.1 nano. Okay. So since VC is equal to this much, right? So what it is showing, when time increases, the VC will go on increasing, because when time increases, VC will also go on increasing. What will happen to my V output one? V output will be minus VC, will be minus of 5T divided by 25K into 0.1 nanofarad. So what will happen to my V01? It will go on decreasing, right? Right. So this much you understand till now. So when my output is plus preset, my VA2 is 2.5 volt. Okay. So then what is my V01? V01 is decreasing, right? And V01 is decreasing, right? Since V01 is decreasing, right, this voltage will decrease. But thing is, in order to change my V out to from plus Vset to minus Vset, what I want is this negative terminal should go more than 2.5 volt, right? Because since positive is 2.5 volt, if I want a V out to go from plus Vset to minus Vset, I want the V negative also should go from more than 2.5 volt, right? Since V positive is equal to 2.5, if my V negative will be greater than 2.5, then only my output will switch from Vset to minus Vset. But you see, my output is decreasing. Okay, since my output is decreasing, it can never go beyond 2.5 volt, right? So in order to go more than 2.5 volt, it should increase, right? But now my output is decreasing. So then at no point of time, my V01 will more than 2.5 volt. This condition will never be satisfied because my output is decreasing with time. So V negative greater than 2.5 volt can never be satisfied. Okay, since V negative greater than 2.5 volt can never be satisfied because my V01 is decreasing. So my output V0 can never switch to plus Vset to minus Vset. So in this circuit, my output will always stay at plus Vset. Okay, plus Vset. So I cannot get a square wave. Okay, so the question is little bit wrong because my V01 is not able to increase, it is decreasing when my output is plus Vset. Whenever my output is plus Vset, if my V0 also one is increasing, then a time will come when it will cross 2.5 volt. Okay, so I am repeating, whenever my output V0 is plus Vset, at that time my V01, if it will go on increasing, then a point will come when it will cross 2.5 volt, then my V0 will change from plus Vset to minus Vset, which is not happening here. So there is a bug in the circuit. The output is not a square wave, it is a constant of plus Vset. Okay, so I think everyone should get the mark for this question. So in order to make you understand how a square wave is coming, let me change the circuit. Okay, you see what I have done. Since V01 is decreasing, right, V01 is negative, right? In order to make it positive, since my V01 is negative, in order to make it positive, at this point, right, I will cut it here. What I will do here, I will put a amplifier of -1 gain, then I will connect it to here. Then what will happen? The input for the A2 will go on increasing. That's what I am doing here. You see, I have this is V01, right? This is V01. I cut it here. At this point, I am introducing one inverting amplifier of -1 gain. Okay. So what I am doing? This is V01, right? I cut it here. This amplifier I am introduced. Okay, to make my negative terminal go on increasing when my V0 is positive, right? So this amplifier I am introducing to give a gain. This is gain of minus R2 by R1, right? Minus R2 by R1 is the gain, is -1. Okay, so this is introduced to make my output go positive when my V0 is plus Vset. Okay, so let us solve this circuit for you. Okay, here first you see, suppose here is the waveform. Okay, here I am putting the waveform. Okay, okay. Suppose my V0 here. Okay, V0 is plus V set. V set. Okay, suppose starting V0 is plus V set. Then what will happen to my V positive? So let us do step by step. Okay, so during the positive cycle, okay, V0 is plus V set, right? When V0 is plus V set, okay, what will happen to V positive negative? So V positive of amplifier A2, this is A2, this is A1, okay, of A2 will be 2.5 volt, right? This is 2.5 volt, this is 5 volt, right? So what is the current here? The current here will be, since this is 0 here, right? Because of virtual ground, this is 0. So my current here will be, current I will be 5 volt divided by 25K, right? So what will happen to V01? This is V02, okay? V01 will be, V01 will be V01 will be, we have seen here, right? Minus Vc is equal to minus Vc is I into T by C, right? Is equal to minus I is nothing but 5 by 25K into how much, guys? C is 0.1 nanofarad, okay, into time. So V01 is minus Vc, right? Now V02 is how much? Plus Vc. V02 is plus Vc is equal to 5 into T divided by 25K into 0.1 nanofarad. Okay, so you see V02 is increasing. Okay, so let us, I don't know initially how much it is. Okay, so V02 is nothing but V negative, right? V negative. What will happen to V02? V02 will go on increasing. I don't know the starting point. Okay, let us assume something. Okay, so V02 will go on increasing. Okay, it will go on increasing, right? When it will reach 2.5 volt, right? It will go on increasing. Then it will reach 2.5 volt. 2.5 volt. For this comparator, right? V negative will be more than V positive. So V0 will be changing to my VC, minus V set. Minus V set, right? So V0 will be changing to minus V set. It will stay at there because my comparator have my V0 to reach 2.5 volt. Now what will happen? Since my V0, now V0 become minus V set. Okay, when did it happen? When my V02 just crosses 2.5 volt. Okay, when my V02 become negative now. Now what will happen here? Here what will happen? Since minus 5 volt here, I will get, for this diode will be reverse bias, this diode will be forward bias, so I will get minus 5 volt here, right? I will get minus 5 volt here, and I will get how much here? I will get again minus 2.5. So at this point, what will happen? V positive of A2 will be minus 2.5. Okay, so when my V02 crosses 2.5 volt, my V output will go to minus V saturation, and my V positive of the amplifier A2 will go to minus 2.5 volt. Okay, now what will happen to my capacitor? Capacitor was initially this minus 5 into T by this one. Now what is the VC? What is V0? 1 now. V01 will be what how much, guys? V01 will be whatever voltage it is there, right? It is there is 2.5 volt. 2.5 volt is there. Now what will happen to current? Current will be, first let us calculate VC. VC will be how much? VC will be 2.5 was there. 2.5 was already there because when I reach here, it is 2.5 volt. Okay. After that, what is happening? I am applying minus 5 volt here. Since minus 5 volt happening, applying here, what is my I will be minus 5 by 2.25. Okay. So I will be minus 5 by 25k into t by c. T is nothing but time. C is equal to 0.1 nanofarad. Okay, this is my VC, right? VC will be like this. Now, so this is minus 2.5 volt, right? It is minus 2.5 volt. So now I am in minus V set. Okay, in order to switch the state, right? Switch the state, my output should go on decreasing, right? Should go on decreasing. So what is V01? V01 is minus Vc, and V02 is again minus. So V02 is nothing but minus of minus V01, right? Is equal to, sorry, V02 is equal to minus V01 minus V01 is nothing but minus Vc is equal to minus Vc is equal to Vc. Clear? So V02 is equal to nothing but Vc only, right? So what is happening in my Vc? Vc is equal to Vc. So Vc is decreasing, right? 2.5 volt minus something. So it is go on decreasing, go on decreasing, go on decreasing. Okay. When it will reach a point minus 2.5 volt, then Vc will be minus 2.5 volt. What will happen to my, when it will be minus 2. Just 555, when it will go to minus 2.49999, and it will, when it will just cross minus 2.500001 also, what will happen? This negative will be less, positive will be more. It will switch to plus V set. Set, right? Again, what will happen? Again, when it become plus V set, again it will start charging. Again, when it will reach 2.5 volt, again my output will switching from plus V set to minus V set. This will keep continue, right? This will keep continue. This will be minus 2.5 volt. Okay. So I got a square wave at the output when I introduce a inverting amplifier of gain is equal to -1. Okay. So let me just brief you. Whenever initially my output is equal to, so initially my output is nothing but plus V set. So whenever my output is plus V set, and V02 is nothing but Vc only, right? Vc only. So it was increasing. So it was increasing, and when it reached 2.5 volt, right? So let us omit everything. Okay. So initially the first step, when output was plus V set, my V01 is 2.5 volt, right? And my V02 was increasing. When it is just plus 2.5 volt, since my negative will be more, output will switch to minus V set, minus V set. Okay. When output will switch minus V set, what will happen to my V02? V02 will be Vc, is nothing but Vc. Vc will be now discharging. It will go on discharging. Okay. Since my output, since here I am having minus 2.5 volt, it will go on discharging. When it just reach minus 2.5 volt, little bit more than minus 2.5 volt also, what will happen? Negative will be less, positive will be more. Then my output switch to plus V set. Okay. So, and this cycle will keep continue. So the capacitor will charge, discharge, so that my output will be also going from plus V set to minus V set. Okay. So this is my time period. T time period. Okay. And what is this one? This one is nothing but my half time. Okay. T by 2. This is T by 2. This is T by 2. Okay. During my half time, right? T by 2. What is happened to my capacitor? Capacitor nothing but going from minus 2.5 to plus 2.5. Right or not? So during my half time T by 2, my capacitor is going from minus 2.5 to plus 2.5. Another half time, it is going from 2.5 to minus 2.5. Right? Minus 2.5. So during any half cycle, right? Any half cycle, my change in capacitor voltage is nothing but minus 2.5 to plus 2.5 or plus 2.5 to minus 2.5 is 5 volt. Change is 2.5 volt minus 2.5 volt is change 5 volt. Okay. So during any T by 2, my del V C is equal to 5 volt. right? Because going from minus 2.5 to plus 2.5. Suppose let us take this, T by 2 it is going from minus 2.5 to plus 2.5, right? And what is the current? So del V is del VC is 5 volt for T by 2 duration, okay? And what is my current? Current is nothing but 5 volt by R, 5 by 25K, right? So current is equal to C into del VC by dt, okay? So this implies 5 by 25K is equal to C into del VC is nothing but 5 volt, dt is nothing but T by 2 is equal to 2C into 5 volt divided by T, okay? This implies time period is equal to T is equal to 2 into C into 5 into 25K divided by 5 is equal to 5 get cancel. 2 into C is 0.1 nanofarad, 0.1 into 10 power minus 9, right? 10 power minus 9 into 25 into 10 power of 3. Okay, so let's calculate this one. Then how much is getting? You're getting time period is nothing but 2 into 0.1, 2 into 0.1 into 10 power of minus 9 into 25 into 10 power of 3. This is my time period. Time period is nothing but, guys, 5 into 10 power of minus 6 second. So frequency will be 1 by time period is equal to 1 harana answer is 200 kilohertz. Okay, so if the question would have been a correct question, there would have been a inverting amplifier of minus 1 gain here. Then if you calculate, we'll get frequency as 200 kilohertz. Okay, so this is the process. Thing is ki my output will keep switching from plus B set to minus B set because my V02 will be switching from plus 2.5 to minus 2.5. Okay, I think this is clear to all of you. See the next question. So in this question, okay, in op-amp that is powered from a plus 5 volt supply, okay, we need to build an non-inverting amplifier having a gain of 15. The gain of the op-amp is 15 with a non-inverting configuration. Okay. Okay. Now, what it is given? The slew rate of the op-amp is equal to 0.5 into 10 power of 6 volt per second. Okay. What is slew rate, guys? This is the dV output by dt max. Okay, so how much my output can change, right? The rate of change of output, that is the maximum rate of change of output, is nothing but my slew rate. Whenever op-amp, what is the maximum rate of change at the output? That is determined by the slew rate. Okay, so when I apply a sinusoidal input with amplitude of 0.3 volt, right, with the maximum frequency in kilohertz up to, it can be operated without any distortion. Okay, so what it is asking, whenever my output slew rate is 0.5 into 10 power 6, what is the maximum input frequency of my sine wave of amplitude 0.3 volt I can apply without having any distortion. Okay, so for since V input is nothing but how much? 0.3 volt sine 2 pi f into t. It's a sinusoid of frequency I don't know. Okay, this is the what it is asking, what is the maximum frequency of input for which my output will not be distorted. Okay, output is maybe without any distortion. Okay, since V in is this one, what is V out? V out is nothing but gain into V in is equal to 15 into 0.3 is my gain, then sine 2 pi ft is equal to 3 45, right? 15 14 into 0.3 is 4.5 sine 2 pi into f of t. Okay, and we know for the output to not to get distorted, distortion free output, my dv0 by dt is equal to slew rate should be less than equal to 0.5 from 5 into 10 power of 6 volt per second. So what is dv0 by dt? dv0 by dt is nothing but d by dt of 4.5 into sine 2 pi f into t less than equal to 0.5 into 10 power of 6, right? So 0.5, so what is 4.5 into 2 pi f into sine derivative is cos 2 pi ft less than equal to 0.5 into 10 power of 6. Okay, what is the maximum value of this is 1. So what is the maximum value of this expression is equal to 4.5 into 2 pi f should be less than equal to 0.5 into 10 power of 6. So frequency should be less than equal to 0.5 into 10 power of 6 divided by 2 pi into 4.5. Okay, let us apply 0.5 into 10 power of 6 divided by 2 into pi into 4.5. So I got 17.68 kilohertz. Okay, if my input frequency exceeds 17.68 kilohertz, then I cannot meet my slew rate constraint, then my output will be distorted. Okay, so in order to get a distortion free output, the frequency of the input should be less than 17.68 kilohertz if the amplitude is 0.3 volt at the input. Okay, so this is the very easy question. Let's see the next question. The circuit given uses a ideal op amp. Okay, we know what is a ideal op amp. Okay, the current I in microampere drawn from the source Vs. Okay, so I think this is also an easy question, right? If this is Vs, right, what is the voltage here? V01. V01 is nothing but a simply inverting amplifier is minus R2 by R1. Okay, so minus 20k by 10k into Vs is 1 volt. 1 volt is equal to minus 2 volt. Minus 2 volt. So V01 is equal to minus 2 volt. Again here V0 is equal to minus R2 by R1 is minus 1 into input is V01. V01 is equal to minus 2 volt is equal to 2 volt. So V0 is equal to 2 volt here. Okay. So here V01 is equal to minus R2 by R1 into V1 is minus 1 volt. V0 is equal to minus R2 by R1 here. V01 is equal to minus R2 by R1 is minus 20 by 10 minus 2 into 1 is 2 volt. Minus 2 volt. Here again V0 is equal to minus R2 by R1 is minus 1 into V01 is minus 2 is equal to 2 volt. Okay. So here I got 2 volt. Right. So now let's apply a nodal equation here. Okay. And this, since it is a virtual ground, right? So this is 0 volt here. Okay. Whenever the op amp is operating in negative feedback, it obeys a virtual ground principle. So this is 0 volt here. Okay. 0 volt here. Here minus R2 by R1 into V1 is minus 2 volt. Here minus R2 by R1 into V01 is 2 volt. Now we'll apply a nodal here. Nodal. Okay. So So the current coming to the node is minus I plus this is 1 volt, right? 1 volt, 1 volt minus V0 is 2 volt, 2 volt divided by 10.1 K, 1 K. Then this one is plus 1 volt minus 0 volt by 10 K equal 0. This implies I is equal to 1 by 10.1 K plus 1 by 10 K, right? So then let us calculate, guys. So 1 divided by 10.1 K, 10.1 K plus 1 divided by 10 K. So if you have a calculator, you can easily calculate. So I got 1.99 into 10 to the power minus 4 ampere. So it is asking in microampere. So you have to multiply 100 and divide by 100. So 199 microampere is my answer, right? 1 minus 2 by 10.1, right? So this is the answer is 199 microampere. Okay, it's a very easy question, right? Let us see the next question. So assuming ideal op-amp, okay, the RMS voltage in the output V0 only due to 230 volt 50 hertz interference is, okay. So there is an interference here. We have to calculate the output only due to this interference at the output, okay. So I have to calculate the output V0 due to the interference at the this point, okay. So here the 230 volt is nothing but my RMS. Okay? Whenever a sinusoidal is expressed in voltage and frequency, it should be RMS. Okay. So now you see, first thing is due to virtual ground, right? Because there is a feedback from output to my inverting terminal, so it's a 0 volt due to virtual ground. Okay. So since it's 0 volt, okay, and I want to calculate the output only due to the interference. So I can apply a superposition theorem. What is superposition theorem? If there are two input, if I want to calculate the output due to only one input, the other input can be shorted or grounded or can be put its equivalent resistance. Okay. So since I want to calculate the output only due to the input RMS, so I have to make this supply to 0, right? So this will be grounded, right? Because I want to calculate the output only due to this input. So because of superposition theorem, what it says, I can calculate the output only due to one input when the other input is grounded, right? So I grounded this one. Now let's calculate the output. Okay. So for calculating output, let us apply a nodal equation. This is a very easy question, looks complicated. Okay, that's all. Suppose I have to apply nodal equation here. Okay, here how much? This is 0, this is 0. So this will go, this will have no effect. Okay, so let us apply this one. This is 0 volt minus the input V in divided by, what is the impedance of this one? 1 by j omega C1. Okay, j omega C1 plus 0 minus V0 by 50K. Okay, equal to 0. Clear? See how easy question it is. Okay, just you have to apply a nodal equation here, and when you apply nodal equation here, this will go because this is 0, this is 0. So 10K is having no effect. Okay, so 0 minus V in by impedance of the 3 picofarad is nothing but 1 by j omega C1. C1 is here 3 pico. Similarly, this current is 0 minus V0 by 50K. Okay, now let us solve. Same place. Minus V in into j omega C1 plus minus V0 by 50k is equal to 0, right? So this implies V0 is equal to minus j omega into C1 into 50k, right, into Vin. Clear? So I have to calculate the RMS V0 magnitude is equal to minus is asking only RMS, right? V0 RMS is omega C1 50k into V in RMS. Okay, V0 RMS is equal to omega is 2 pi into frequency is nothing but 50 Hz. C1 is nothing but 3 pico, 3 into 10 power of minus 12 into 50k. Okay, okay, into what the input RMS is 230 volt. Okay, so if I apply input on RMS, I will get the output RMS. Okay, so what is the calculate here? Okay, 2 into pi into 50 into 3 into 10 power of minus 12 into 50k into 230. So I am getting 10.83 millivolt. Okay, so the output RMS will be 10.83 millivolt. It is a very easy question. Simple apply a nodal equation here. 0 minus V in by JC1, 0 minus V0 by 50k. It will give me my output. Okay, if I want to know the output RMS, I have to apply my input RMS here. Then this is a magnitude multiplied by input RMS will give me my output RMS. Okay, so I think this is the last question. Okay, thank you guys.